So the purpose of this demonstration is to help you to connect with your vagus nerve in a way that it's stimulating the ventral vagus. So in doing so, you're going to be signaling to the brain that pretty much there's harmony within the organs of your body. And we're focusing on the thoracic spine because it's going to help to free up the movement along that spine. It's also going to like reawaken the fibers of the thoracic spine so that it can come in and do some of the work. But it's also going to correct a little bit of that head forward position and offer some support to the lumbar spine as well. So what I'd like you to do is make sure that you are in a comfortable seated position. I'm here on the floor. There's many ways to sit, but just finding that place where you can comfortably be with a tall spine. And the key to the first practice is it's really in correcting and connecting with freedom of our neck movement and freeing up the muscles along the occipital bone. So this is based off the work of Stanley Rosenberg. So he calls this the half salamander, because the idea is if you look at how a salamander moves, they kind of go like this. So the work that we're going to do is like free up our head movement and then our thoracic spine. So hence where the name came from. So initially we're going to begin by allowing our eyes to guide the way, but bring in your breath first. It's always good to come home. So just reconnecting, feeling a sense of balance in your posture. And then from here, you're going to gently drop your eyes down to the left. And then let your head follow. So left ear towards the left shoulder. You're going to keep that gaze nice and steady. You're going to hold the gaze while you continue to breathe for about a count of 60 to 30 seconds. And when you give yourself the time to be here for these few seconds, you may notice subtle shifts begin in your body, that you are reconnecting to your parasympathetic, but not only your parasympathetic, but the healthy side, the ventral vagus, feeling a little more ease in the body. Sometimes you'll notice a spontaneous breath, like a deeper kind of sigh come in. Sometimes you'll notice more saliva in your mouth. Sometimes you'll feel an ease in your muscles. So notice what might be arising for you. And then very gently bring your eyes back to center, bring your head back to center. And then we'll do the opposite side. So always begin with the eyes looking down towards that right side, and then lowering the right ear towards the right shoulder. So again, we're not over forcing anything. Coming back to the breath. Gaze is steady. You might notice subtle tension release in the body. And I just took kind of a bigger, deeper breath there. So another 2 breaths. And then slowly bring the eyes back to center and bring the head back to center. So the next movement I'm going to introduce you to is connecting with your trapezius muscles. And it just really begins by just holding your elbows right in front of the rib cage. And the trick with this movement is that you are staying centered, head, everything is staying centered. And with the lower part of this movement, we're actually trying to stimulate the upper trapezius muscles. So from here, we're very gently just going to rotate the shoulders side to side 3 times. So it's center. And then we'll take it up so that the elbows are about heart level. And then from here, we're going to do the same thing. And then we can take it a little bit higher, this time working with the lower trapezius. And then slowly lower those elbows down. So what we're doing is really trying to wake up, stimulate all of the sensory fibers along the thoracic spine that are surrounding our lungs, that are really part of our respiratory system and our breathing mechanism. And the more that these work, the more that they're signaling safety back to the brain. The next thing I'd like to teach you is a little movement that helps to strengthen the smaller muscles closer to your bones. So they're called your erector spinae. So again, adding to the strength of the spine. So whenever you're ready, we'll come on to all fours. Okay. And there's going to be two parts to this. One is going to be very similar to the upright salamander that we just did, okay, except this time we're doing it on all fours and we're bringing in more of the spine with it. And the next one is going to be that subtle twist. But when we're going to do that twist, we're not looking for our deepest twist. What we're doing is we're moving our twist to a place where we can feel the first level of resistance. And we're not going to ignore that. We're going to hold for 3 seconds and come back. We can go forward, come back, go forward, and come back. Even though potentially I could do a deeper twist, but I don't want to ignore these signals along the way. Okay. So let's begin with this full salamander, and this is in our tabletop position. So let us come on to all fours, and to prepare, what we're making sure is that our head is in line with the spine, and this can be sometimes really hard to gauge. So what can be helpful is we can drop our head down. Okay, we know that's too low. We can lift our head up. We know that's too high. And then we can kind of move between that a couple of times until we find that centered position where the head is more in line with the spine, ear in line, almost like with the shoulder. And then from here, similar to what we did in our seated position, we're going to move our eyes into the left corner, ear towards the left shoulder, and allow the bend to follow all the way down the spine. And we're back to holding this position again, not holding the breath. We are going to continue breathing. Nice, steady breath. We're going to pay attention to any subtle shifts and changes within our physiology for at least 30 to 60 seconds. So this is going to be kind of like a very silent practice for you. Gaze is steady. I just took another deep releasing breath, another sign that I'm connecting with my ventral vagus. And again, roll the eyes back to center, head back to center, spine back to center, and then we're going to do the opposite side. So this is what it's going to look like from the front. So eyes to the right, move the eyes to the right first, then ear to the shoulder, and then follow it down. And at the bend, follow down the spine. Eyes are steady, gaze is steady, breath is moving freely. And it may seem like there's not a lot going on, but the information going back to your brain is really signaling that we are in a good place right now. Two more breaths. And then head, eyes back to center, head back to center, and just pause for a little moment. It's not unusual, like if we don't do these things very often, to maybe feel a little lightheaded. Because as we're kind of releasing tension along the spine, especially within the neck area, there can be extra blood flow to the brain, which is a good thing. So let's work on those exercises to strengthen those finer muscles along the thoracic spine. So this is again where we're going to be in that tabletop position, head in a good position. And then from here, you can turn your palm up. And this is where we're just tracking, and like your stopping point might be here. I can go just a little bit further. I'm feeling like a lot of resistance now. Can I go much further and almost into my thread and needle pose? Yes, but I'm bypassing all of these little signals along the way. So I'm going to come back, notice the first line of resistance. I'm going to breathe and I'm going to hold for 3, 2, 1, and come back. Go again. Hold, breathe, 3, 2, 1, come back again. Hold, 3, 2, 1, and come back again. Pause, and then let's switch sides. Left palm up, start the rotation, Find that point of resistance. 3, 2, 1. Come back. Remember to breathe. Slide. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Come back. Stay connected to your breath, and off we go again. 3, 2, 1, and come back. So there's a couple of simple exercises that can help you to both connect with the ventral vagus, so helping restore that sense of safety back to the nervous system that really sends great signals to the brain, helping you to downregulate any of that stress response. And even with these exercises, it can also help to upregulate the system too. So overall, bringing the system back to balance. So take your time exploring them, notice how you feel before and after. And sometimes I often suggest to people to actually do your own rotation check to the left and to the right before you begin, so that you can monitor any extra flexibility that maybe you've received in the rotation of your neck and your thoracic spine. Sometimes it's fun to measure these. So I invite you to explore and enjoy, and most of all, listen to your own body.